how much Dardoch did you know of at the time, starting your career, you know, in a completely different country?
Well, we knew about the clip, you know, just pick me whatever.
Just the clip.
Everyone knew it. So it's kind of, it broke all the language barriers, you know?
Welcome back to Pros. We got a special jungle episode today. Jose, Dardoch, and Gryffinn. Dardoch, I appreciate you doing this because you have been bombarded with media requests all day. You were doing stuff for like LCS Twitter. I talked to you before the series in the room. You did a post-series interview, apparently like a couple press interviews as well, and now this.
Yeah. Long day, yeah.
Long day. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, obviously, a lot of eyes on Dignitas because of the change, so
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot of media today and just told myself, stick it through, obviously, because it's, you know, who knows where it's going to go from here, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was the biggest story of the week for sure, and it's part of because of the legacy you left behind in the LCS, but then also like Breaking Point and all the notoriety that still has to this day from like 10 years ago. Gryffinn, have you seen Breaking Point? You would have been young when it came out.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
when did you watch it?
Yeah, I watch it every night.
When did you watch it the first time?
I actually do not remember, but definitely like maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
Probably like not that like, yeah. I remember watching it. Well,
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Jose?
Yeah, I saw it.
Does
Famous clip, yeah.
Just the clip?
I saw it slightly. I don't remember watching all of it, but I remember long part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the craziest thing because it obviously with Dardoch coming back, I started thinking about it more. And I remember at the time, and I'm really curious to get your perspective on this. Like, at the time, I was like, I can't believe Team Liquid would release this. Like, because
we felt the same way.
Oh, really?
We felt the same way.
That was kind of the feeling in the scene. But then here's the follow-up take is you still played for like 6 other LCS teams after that. Like, it didn't actually ruin your career. And like Loco went on to coach other teams too. Like everyone kind of just managed to move on, even if it seemed like such crazy content. And at the end of the day, it did really increase the amount of people that know you and your brand, but maybe not for the right reasons. So I don't know, like how do you feel about that now? I know we'll get to the games and your story later.
I mean, in regards to the video, obviously was a bit of a blindside, right? You just kind of have a guy following you with a camera every day for a year, and then they release a 1 hour compilation of like your worst moments as a group, right? So we got warned. Got warned by the staff that was like, video's going to release.
When they started filming it, they weren't planning on calling it.
It might make you look pretty bad, but it's going to make everybody look bad. It was like kind of the pat on the back we got was like, we all look bad together kind of thing. So like, don't take it to heart. And then also we could kind of hide behind the whole fact of that it was a year-long video compiled into an hour. So that's where kind of go into the how we got more jobs after that part is you could kind of cope a bit and be like, oh, it wasn't that bad, or you could throw blame on X, Y, and Z because there was a lot of, truthfully, there was a lot of wrong going on in that team environment from many different angles. So we all had the opportunity to go elsewhere and just point the finger, I would say.
Sure.
So all of us, all the bad of that team and that era, I would say. Well, won't name any names, but we all ended up getting pushed out of the scene for X, Y, and Z reason. You know, it didn't obviously work on the later teams either.
Yeah, and I think something that, I mean, you were 18 at the time, but I feel like watching it back, like you present older, like you tall, deep voice, very confident. That's not. I mean, aside from Gryffinn, that's not like your typical 18-year-old with how confident Gryffinn is. But just like a lot of 18-year-olds are like kind of camera shy, not super well-spoken. So I think even at the time, people like, do you feel like looking back, you were like really young, or do you feel like it was a more mature time?
I just think personality-wise, based on, I mean, I'm from Philly, grew up on the East Coast. It's a way different ball game interacting with humans than what I was getting in California. So not to use that as a cope, obviously. I need to learn as a human, and I did. But that was, I think, the main difference was just how I was used to dealing with conflict where I grew up and in my family and stuff like that was just so far different than acceptable in a professional environment.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Jose, your first LCS game was in 2021 with Flyquest, I believe.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
With Immortals or
yeah, whatever the first LCS, I believe it was Flyquest, but it's around the same time that Dardoch.
It might have been
last
Lockin,
LCS
no?
game would have been.
Lockin, yeah.
Might have been Lockin tournament.
Yeah.
How much Dardoch did you know of at the time, starting your career? You know, from a completely different country.
Well, we knew about the clip. You know, just pick me whatever.
Just the clip.
Everyone knew it, so it's kind of it broke all the language barriers. You know, even the Koreans knew at that time. You know? It's kind of funny, but no, I knew him from a long time, especially solo queue. Obviously, when I play in NA, even before when I was in LA, I used to play before NA. So you pretty much see him all the time. So even today in the arenas, I see him playing arena. So yeah.
Oh yeah, over the years, I've met Jose and other LCS players in arena.
You play a lot of. You both play a lot of arena.
Yeah. That's my favorite, like casual way to enjoy League. I don't like ARAMs or that kind of stuff.
So you're like top Apex arena player.
Pretty much.
Oh damn.
The high MMRQs of arena
all LCS
of Mr.
players?
Dude.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're just challenger in arena or what?
Well, I mean, that's like I said, that's where I spent a lot of my free time.
Do you have someone you play with or queue with frequently?
Yeah, my boy Kenvy.
Oh,
Kenvy,
damn, that's cool.
I
You're
coached him on
coaching him
Immortals,
and you're still playing. What's he doing now?
I think he's just chilling.
Playing arena.
He's just chilling playing arena. Yeah, man. I tried to convince him to take my spot on CCG. After I got the news, after I got the news I was playing for Dig, I tried to convince him. I said, "Hey, man, it's a really good opportunity for you if you want to go pro." And he's like, "I'm not trying to go pro no more." So, teach their own.
Those are the days. Kenvy on 100 Thieves, I believe. 100 Thieves Academy.
100 Academy. He was the CEO of Tier 2.
The next prospect. Okay, Gryffinn, just a little bit of memory lane. You're still, I mean, you're not a rookie, but you're 19, I believe, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you remember of the early days of LCS and Dardoch? Because I know you've been a fan of the league for a while.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm only 19, like technically I've been following the league since 2020 basically, like pretty closely, like ever since I hit Challenger. Or even before I even hit Challenger.
Dardoch then?
I knew, bro. I remember watching like TSM Legends, like all this. I watched the Breaking Point documentary, Dom's reaction to the Breaking Point documentary, Double's reaction. So I know all this, you know. So and even like Kenvy and stuff, like I grew up like with these like or like knowing about this type of stuff. So I'm pretty well informed of all this stuff. Yeah.
Do you feel like, I mean, Breaking Point showed the worst of it. But do you feel like some of it was overblown? Like, what have you thought of Dardoch as a jungler from what you saw? Like, this guy's really good. Did you think maybe this guy might be hard to work with? Like, what was your read back in the day based off of just like public perception? Because you would have seen him in solo queue, but have you guys met in person before today?
Nah, not before today. But I'm not sure because obviously TL has like that Breaking Point documentary.
Sure.
And then you hear behind the scenes that like, oh, there's been worse team environments than that. It's honestly hard for me to tell because I haven't been in much like bad team environments. I think I've played with like one person that you could consider like maybe not the best like in terms of team environment. But overall, all my team environments have been pretty like positive. But I could see like it could get heated, and I think that's like normal. And I mean, maybe that's like a little bit overheated because at the end of the day, I mean, at the end of the day, you're just like you're young, you're a kid, you only played games growing up. You're not gonna have like the social skills. So it's like honestly pretty reasonable, and for like teams to have bad team environments like that, and I think TL is just one of many that like only publicized it.
Of course.
So I don't think it's like that abnormal. Yet again, I haven't been part of like many bad team environments, to be honest. So it's hard for me to say confidently, but yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time on this. When more present day, this Dignitas thing is fairly quick or fairly new, or how long has this been in the works?
Just last week, pretty much. I got some scrims trials, and then they pulled the trigger on it after their match against C9 on last Saturday.
Had you seen any of the drama from last year? Like there was the Exu interview where he said, I don't have exactly the quote, but a team either needs to respect each other or like have fun playing together, and you have neither. Did that give you some pause about joining Dig?
Yeah. No, not really, because obviously I want the opportunity more than anything. I would have played for any LCS team, to be honest, if they sent the call my way. So I won't try and make it seem like that was not a part of the decision making. But also I see the roster on paper and players like Palafox, FBI, and Ignar are obviously proven to be good players, at least. And then obviously I played against Denethor a ton in Tier 2, so I had a pretty confident view of his gameplay, being able to transition to Tier 1. So I saw the potential in the group. Yeah, for sure.
What do you think you guys need to improve on the most? Because it's a tough start. I mean, 6 out of 8 teams make playoffs.
Listening to each other would be a great start. I think that's where, like, today, for example, we were in an extremely winning position. I think in game 1, all the players here could agree we were in an extremely winning position, and winning the game from that spot should be rather simple in comparison to getting into that position. If that makes sense. So for us, I feel like we're stumbling often at the easy part and doing the hard part actually better. Yeah. So especially in our scrims, like we find ourselves in pretty advantageous positions in a good bit of these scrims. But yeah, we just can't win. We can't find a victory screen. Yeah. So
one series.
A lot of it's just coming down to cohesiveness. Obviously, we have a very limited amount of time together so far as a team, and there's a lot of voices trying to make a difference at once, which feels like the biggest problem and a potential solution at the same time, right? But yeah, got to trust on one voice at some point, in my opinion, especially when you're playing these very hectic games where don't really always have the opportunity to like clear out your plan and make a new one.
Yeah, you two were able to catch the first game of the series, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the game state and how Lyon managed to kind of like win right off that Baron?
Well, I mean, I was watching the start. I was thinking, damn, this game is over. 5,000 gold up. Then we went on the van. We arrived at Riot. Game is over. We were like, Dignitas won.
I'm not glad I had the same reaction too, because like I didn't really watch the mid late game. I was like, Dignitas is smurfing early game. I thought it was like free win. I think game score was like 9-2, and then when I stopped watching, and then I'm just like chilling in the car, and then I'm like, wait, Dignitas lost. So not sure what happened, but yeah.
Baron play was crazy.
I played poorly. Yeah. To be fair.
What do you think you did poorly?
Just that main fight around the Nash where we start on Camille, but Swain is in front, and I still chase blindly like through the team and try to kill the Camille. It's like super low elo. It's my bad.
Sure, I did think the Swain was going to be like the hardest thing to deal with the team competition.
But I'm the one who has the agency to stop him, right? If Swain presses R where we're in the front and I kick him back, it's actually, that trade of ults is extremely good for us, right? Yeah. And we're already in the winning position, so yeah. I played poorly.
Sure. We don't need to talk about game 2 either. It was just
game 2.
It was just
a blowout.
It was quick.
The Men in Black gift. Forget about it.
Go on, move on to next week. Jose, pivoting a bit to Team Liquid, you guys are looking really good. I haven't mentioned Team Liquid scrims because I haven't had to say, oh, actually in scrims they're really good, because on stage they look like you guys look incredibly cohesive. What do you feel like has changed the most?
Well, I think first of all, scrims change a lot on the way like how we play as a team and how we approach the games. Before we had like just play the games and do whatever you can to improve, and now we have like objectives during the game. We're like, okay, this game, guys, let's practice, I don't know, Baron setup, or let's practice this team fight, or let's practice what happens if we do this pathing, what happens if we do this style, what happens if we path up, what happens if we do this. And over the games that we play, even if we do good early games or we do bad early games, most of the times we find a winning position in mid games now. And that's something we were not doing quite well before. And recently we're losing a lot of early games, but we find like huge amount of opportunities to come back during the games. And I feel like that's why we're learning the most of how to come back or how to find winning moments during the games. So yeah, I think scrims overall for us are more like a practice right now. And I think before we were playing to win the scrims, not to improve it. So we had like games that we had like 50 kills into 3. And it's like, what do we improve here? We just kill them on spawn, They keep coming and we keep killing them. Or they FF at 10 minutes because the gameplay is like too unrealistic. And now I feel like it's come to like a point that we show that the games can be like that. We just capitalize on how to push the pace of the game faster. So we just keep going further, more to make the games faster. So
you saying that like the 50 kill to 3 scrims are useless is like it's an obvious thing to say, but it's like a really hard thing to fix. Because you can't just say like, if the other guy's limit testing against you, it's like, what do you do? You're going to kill him every time. How have you fixed that?
Well, I think it comes to half and half. Sometimes we kill them and that's fine. But there are points that we will kill them, but we will die too. So it feels like it's fine. You kill them, but at the same time, where do you think that he could kill you? Or like that kind of conversation, Okay. So it brings to a lot of like, will we do this on stage? or we will not do it. So if we won't do this kind of plays because we're scared like enemy jungle is going to kill us, or we're not sure if it's good or bad, I think that's what we taught the most, and that's why we look better right now. Because today, for example, there are a lot of plays that I think in screens we were doing, and they show up on stage because it happened like similar scenarios. And since we didn't do it on the screens, we were confident that we would work out. So yeah, I just think like if we're willing to do it on screens, we should be able to do it on stage. And yeah, especially after MSI 2, we had a lot of moments after we lost against T1 the first one, and we start talking more to each other, and we start giving a lot of feedback because there was not too much to do in the hotel, honestly. Yeah. So we start to speak more, and yeah, we came after that one, and we keep doing it here, and it helped us a lot to improve as individuals and as a team. So
that's actually really interesting. Just the extended amount of time you had together just led to you.
But just there is like, yo, why you do this? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I didn't mean to ask you, Gryffinn, did you have anything you wanted to add? You're very intently listening. I'm just making sure that. Are you having a hard time hearing, or
no? I'm just listening.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Did you want to add to it? Because I can pivot the conversation, but I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm just listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Unfortunate question, since you guys were on the losing side today, but how has Flyquest been doing? Because I know your expectations were really high coming into the split, and at least through 3 weeks, the results haven't necessarily matched.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's week 3 now. I think in general on stage, we haven't had the best showing, but I'd say, like after week 1, I'd say before our Lyon series, that's like the series I'm most ashamed of, I guess, because I'd say that week we had probably one of the worst weeks of practice we'd had. So going into Lyon series, we were pretty not confident, let's say. Okay. And I think that showed in our gameplay. And then ever since the first week after the Lyon series, I think last 2 weeks we've had really good productive practice. And I do think we are, being pretty productive with our practice, and I think practice has been going well, and we've been improving a lot, even though on stage, I'd say even week 2 and 3, we haven't had the best performances. But even with today's loss, today's loss felt bad because I think the games were pretty bad. I think just the early games felt really hard.
Right.
Or like we lost early games really hard, which are going to make the rest of the game feel a lot harder. But I'm still feeling pretty confident in our team, and I think as long as we keep up our level of practice and what we're working on, we'll be okay. But yeah, feels kind of bad. I think so far we haven't had any good games like in our showing.
What were kind of the key moments in the games today that you feel like made the early games hard?
I mean, game 1 was like pretty disrespectful, or not disrespectful, but we just gave like a huge early game lead. I tried to dive top, that failed. Gave top a lead, and then Rise got like 3 kills early game. And then I think the second game we also gave like a pretty big early game lead. And then they had a really good like dive bot.
Yeah.
And like for example, like the early game of the second game, we know Jarvan's gonna like 3-camp bot and stuff like this. But yeah, I think we just gave like pretty disrespectful leads.
Okay.
That are gonna make the game feel harder.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny because like prior to the last 2 weeks, it was actually kind of the opposite. Where in our week of practice leading up to Lyon, we were actually getting a lot of early game leads with like the Camille stuff, and then we were throwing a lot in the mid game. But like recently, our early games have been pretty bad. So feels like I think as a team, you always like try to focus on one thing, and then maybe another like mistake kind of appears, and like you have to work on that again.
Yeah.
So when you try to plug like one chip in the hole, or like like there's holes in the ship, you try to plug one, and then the other opens. But I'd say overall, still with practice and everything, has been going well. So I'm still like really confident in our future, I guess. And when playoffs comes,
yeah, that's good to hear, because it's almost like you've been focusing so hard on the mid game. Well, maybe we're not pushing our advantage early game, or practicing the early game dives, or scuttle crab scenarios that were such a big part of your game beforehand to get the leads in the first place.
Yeah,
it's interesting. What do you think was the key for Team Liquid to win today in the series?
Well, game 1 I didn't do anything, so I just got carried by Quid because he was everywhere. We're like, oh damn, he's just everywhere. Ganked me top bot, and I was farming blue, and then I farmed 7 full clears and win. So I'm not sure what else I could do that game. I wasn't involved in many plays. I think, I also thought Morgan played pretty well today. I think he got his lead after the kill top lane, which debatable if it's mistake or good play by Morgan. I don't know. I think the game went pretty smoothly after we got the huge lead, especially from Quid. And yeah, I think even if we had a huge lead, I kind of ran it down like 1-2 times. So yeah, I felt pretty bad that game at certain moments, but I was like, it's fine. We still have the lead, so I didn't have to do much. But the second game, Yeah, I was also confused when they died on the bowling line because they also had ward and we knew they had ward. But I thought like, oh, this guy's walking back again. So I was like, oh, he just did, you know. And yeah, the game fell pretty easily after that one because we could jail them both all the time and they had to keep coming bowling. And even when I died on the first one, I was like, it's fine, you know. They waste their tempo and we're going to have another one to do it again. So it felt like pretty natural to play the game. So just how it's like practice sort of for us. Like we practice a lot of this and I think every time we do it, it looks better. So I think for us, it's just like, just keep repeating what we're doing well and just don't drop the good habits, you know. That's, I think, was our biggest focus right now.
That's awesome. I want to talk a bit about Lyon because when Inspired said he wasn't going to be here, you thought maybe they have like a bit of a slow start to the year, but they're literally 6-0 in games, 3-0 in matches. Armeo just shows up, has lanes that just like win every matchup and just like walks away with 6-0. It's pretty fun. But just how are you looking at Lyon? I guess Jose, because you met them in the finals last split. Do you feel like you guys have improved your play? Or you think they're going to be potentially weaker with Inspired coming back at some point in time, or how are you looking at them?
I honestly don't know, because now we're screaming with Armao, and I think obviously it's not the same. And a lot of it is like they just run it down in NFF. So that's what they're doing right now, honestly. But yeah, I think with Inspired, you know, when the dictator is back, they start playing again.
So, but they remake a bunch of scrims with Inspired as well, but at least they're more organized.
Now they just don't remake, they just FF. So, yeah, I think it's different, but obviously, I don't know. We just have to see how we end up doing in playoffs. I think for us right now, we're doing quite well, but it doesn't matter regular season. All of it is like improving and reaching the best form for playoffs overall. So.
Dardoch, how much have you seen of Lyon and Inspired? I know you mentioned him as one of the junglers you wanted to play against, but how much have you seen of Lyon?
Oh, a ton. I mean, I've watched pretty much every Inspired game, I think, in competitive for last like year and a half, maybe 2.
Oh, nice.
He's just always has good ideas about the game. So very easy. And he has a very straightforward approach to the game. So it's very easy, I think, from a pro's perspective to watch his games and understand what he's thinking. Because he plays in such a... What's the word? He plays in such a sophisticated and consistent way that you understand he's just playing for camp lead or he's playing for this lane or what, you know, it's very easy to understand what he's thinking in the game when you watch him, but it always makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that makes him so great is because he has a very clear idea of how the game should play out, but also the ability to articulate that to his teammates and make the plan actually go out. I mean, I don't know how they communicate, but I would assume Inspired is the one, you know, fueling the machine. So at least versing him, it's always fun.
Yeah.
I played versus him with my tier 2 team before I joined Dig on CCG many times before, like they would pretty much any time playoffs would come around and teams run out of people to scrim, they would come and hit us up on tier 2. So it was always a great time scrimming them and TL.
Yeah, that was a very articulate way of describing Inspired's play style. Do you feel like, and this is going to tangent a little bit, but like your reputation in tier 2, when I read the quotes about you in tier 2 about like I think some of the other players saying, Sushi said that you made it easier for him to focus on his own game. Do you feel like you try and play like Inspired in terms of making clear plans for the team and playing in a methodical way, or is it
no, for sure. I think at least I think that would be his most valuable and tangible asset, right? Is his ability to lead and speak for his teammates in the game. So that was definitely something that I leaned on in tier 2. As like a big reason why I think I would be better than other candidates in jungle. So, yeah, I mean, definitely. I tried to play as close to, you know, Inspired as possible. He's probably one of, if not the best Western jungle for the last few years. So I think everybody's trying to play somewhat to a certain extent like Inspired, you know what I mean?
That's great. Gryffinn, do you have anything to add about Lyon and playing against them this split?
Honestly, I think with Armeo, they're not that strong, but I think we should have beat them week 1, and then they played against like 2 weaker teams, right?
Yeah, they played DSG Dig.
Yeah, so they played against like 2 weaker teams. So
chill out. He's here.
The weaker team, you know, the small chihuahuas or whatever. But like, I don't think they're actually that strong with Armeo. Well, obviously they're still strong. And we lost them. It kind of feels bad. Like obviously they.
You guys did seem very angry after that loss.
And like they still have really strong players. It's not like Inspired is like like obviously he's really good, but they have really strong players, so it makes sense. Like they're still really strong, but I think like obviously they're going to be a lot weaker without him. And yeah, no, I mean everyone Glaze is inspired, but I think it just makes sense. Like everything he does makes sense, and even though he is like someone that likes to be very efficient with his clear, even you saw this MSI, he did a lot of like non-standard pathing, and like I think all his like non-standard pathing usually also makes sense against C9 in finals split 1. He like fucked he like I mean he did like a lot of non-standard pathing against Blabber that like they weren't ready for, and all of it just makes sense. So I think it's someone that you could like watch and you're like, oh yeah, all this gameplay makes sense. But yeah, I mean I think obviously Lyon without Inspired are still weaker, but in scrims they've been just inting. I'm not gonna lie, but
I've heard that has been happening.
Yeah, they've been just inting scrims, but obviously I think they're still really strong even without him. Like the other players are like hold their own weight, so it makes sense that they won versus the weaker teams, and that's when we were meant to boom. So yeah,
sure,
I think it makes sense.
I want to give a quick opportunity just in case, like since like I'm the host of the podcast and it seems like you guys need to wait to talk. Do you've never met each other before, but you've watched a bunch of LCS, you've watched a bunch of Dardoch. Do you have any questions for each other that you'd want to have? I have plenty of questions if you don't. If anyone has them, I can move it on.
No, I mean, I think it's just cool. Also, Jose, like, I remember Jose would play at a solo queue, and he was always cool and nice.
He's smurfed in a solo queue.
Yeah.
When I was young, not anymore.
Not anymore? I mean, has Core told you back in 2020 how we'd, like, watch your, when you qualified for Worlds, you're like, oh, Jose, we called Jose Dodo, because we have Dodo.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me slightly with the tactical roster, I think it was. Yeah, but, I mean, it was hard at that time because I was import.
Yeah.
So
hard to get you in.
I knew it was hard to get in good teams at that time because import is tough for Latin players back then. Now it's like fine. So
yeah. Okay.
Actually, I remember playing against Jose.
I think it's just you. It's low key just you, but
what do you mean
like you're the main Latam player on a really strong team, no?
Oh, yeah.
Like
I think
you could say it got easier, but I think you might be the guy, you know, for that.
I hope.
It's like a team of Koreans, and you're like almost MVP in Spring Split.
Yeah,
almost.
You were smurfing. I want to talk a bit about like leadership and team environment, because I always find this really interesting. Like Dardoch, on most of the teams you've joined, you have had a desire to be kind of like the dominant voice because you have a clear idea of how you want to play the game. Is that an accurate assessment of like most of your career?
Well, in my first team, I was forced. Well, I wouldn't say forced, but I was given that role. So on Team Liquid, our main shot caller, I guess, was me because Piglet and Phoenix didn't speak English that well.
Yeah.
So they just kind of gave that responsibility over to me because we were 3 rookies on the team. And every team after that, I just kind of naturally was the vocal leader. Just because, at least in my experience, it just flows most naturally through jungle or support.
Especially for the early
unless you have like the guy on mid lane.
Faker.
There's some, exactly, like Faker, Bjergsen, these type of players who can definitely pilot the game through them and like vocally do it. But yeah, I think it just happens in most teams that it's jungle or support.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's another element of shot calling though? Because I mean, you've played with so many more inexperienced players as well, but there's like an element of, in a perfect world, you don't have to shot call because people know what to do and they're on the same page. But at the same time, there's like a level of aligning people on the same page that is needed for communication. So it's kind of a long-winded way of asking, like, what's your ideal, like, I don't know, pecking order type of communication if you were to kind of build the perfect
ideal would be you like speak about an idea. So like, for example, I'm going to clear XYZ camp into X objective and we will play this area, and everybody kind of understands what possibilities go into that kind of vague call. And then I think the lower quality, like the lower skill level you are as a team, the more micro comes into that, where it's like, I need you to do this. I need you to go ward this bush exactly and stand here or contest this or whatever. But yeah, ideally you talk a lot less than, you know, the lower teams kind of make it
because there's like a shared language implied in what you were saying.
Exactly.
You reduce the number of words needed every time.
What the main guy says, pretty much everybody on the team knows what he means by that, and there's not that much communication needing to come after that.
Yeah. Jose, this is kind of a question with Team Liquid, with having so many Korean speakers, I feel like you actually need a lot of what Dardoch talks about. Like you need that shared understanding because the ideas kind of have to be kind of simple. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to spend that much time in game discussing the details.
Well, I mean, a lot of times it happens that we're just saying the idea and we just all do what we think is good.
Yeah.
And sometimes they speak Korean. I don't know what they're saying, so I just adapt to what I see. So that happens. It happens sometimes. Or sometimes I'm like, are you guys talking about this? And he's like, yeah. Oh, okay. Then I'll just do my thing.
That happened a lot when I was on TL2.
Yeah, it's funny sometimes, but most of our conversation out of the games are like how we're gonna do the setup better and how we can approach objectives better if it happens that we did it wrong or somebody has a different idea or somebody's thinking different. So it happens, it just like, I will say our team is more like, okay, we're fighting this on and we're doing this. And after the review, we speak to like what we should do next time. And that's how we come to conclusions. And I think this team overall has good memory. When we do a good play or we do a bad play, we remember how we should do it next time, So for that kind of scenarios that happens, we pretty much learn from our mistakes, and that's pretty good for us. I think that makes us look better too. And yeah, it just makes our job easier because you don't have to speak that much. I think me and Cora, first split 1 and 2, we're speaking way more than now. Now it's like more like, okay, we're doing this and that's it, Yeah. So we can focus more on our micro style and that kind of stuff. So yeah, feels nice to play when things are going well. It feels way easier too.
Sure.
So yeah,
absolutely. How's the dynamic on Flyquest for your communication in game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like pretty like what they said. I think like usually the jungler should be the one that like leads the voice most because he's doing basically in game. The jungler is the one that can focus the most on these type of stuff because you're just clearing camps. Like laners have to lane and all this type of stuff. So it's quite easy to be the one that has like the strongest voice, I'd say. So I'd say for at least Flyquest, I probably have the strongest voice, and then like quad handles most are like side lane macro and like TPs and stuff. Tracking TPs and stuff. So that's like I'd say our dynamic. But I think in general everyone like. I get Gakkos is pretty quiet, but like everyone tries to. I think nowadays like shot calling, it's not like a real thing of League. It's usually like you all talk about an idea. Hopefully you don't have to say that many words to like translate your idea of what you want to do into the game, and everyone like has to know their job within that plan, right? So yeah, I'd say that's how it kind of works around like our team at least. Yeah.
Has it been difficult with you and Cryogen, the support jungle, who generally need to communicate the most throughout the game, being the 2 youngest players on the team?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's like, something that we worked on throughout the year is that sometimes like you just have to communicate with your support, and sometimes like I assume like he'll like know what I'm talking about, but I think in an ideal world when you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna play for this, like everyone's on like the same page of like what I want happen, but like sometimes you need to take that extra step and involve people, like talk, like say their name so they know like they're involved in the plan. So I think yeah, it's just like you have to sometimes do what you have to do. So yeah, but I think since obviously like he came from tier 3, and then also I'm like this is like not my first year. I think I've only had a full year, but now he has had 2 splits. I think it's been a lot smoother and cleaner in terms of our synergy.
And Dardoch, I know we started off with the ideal version of communication. If you're willing to share, what's the communication been like the last week on Dig? What's the current structure of the team right now?
Certainly too much discussion, I'd say, in the game. I mean, like I said, I alluded to it with the game 1 stuff, is we just had like this long period in the game where no one is clear on what we're actually doing, and we're all just trying to optimize the decision instead of actually just choosing to do something, which is very important in current meta, where it's like,
you have to be fast.
Against very good teams especially, like, those 15 to 20 seconds pass and there's somebody behind your turret, you know, diving a player or getting vision for a TP or something like that. So you don't have the luxury nowadays in League to have this long-winded answer to a problem. You just kind of have to play and keep adapting, just play and keep adapting. And maybe you make a bad plan and it turns into something, but the detail of that plan can make a new plan, and you just have to keep going.
Take it none of you guys have played much League of Legends Classic?
Bro, we had a contact idea. I played one game, bro. That's the most boring game I've ever played. Bro.
That was my same feeling.
He kind of dopamine maxing in that one.
Bro, I started walking the lane and I was like, bro, I was slow. And then also, I thought it was season 1, but season 3? How is season 3 this bad?
It's a mix. It's a mix.
Yeah,
There's
really?
like some kids
1
from
to
season
3.
1. It's
really?
it's 1, 2, 3, 4. They didn't have trinkets till season 4.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Bro, I was waddling the lane. I was like, this is the worst game I've ever played. Bro.
Yeah, no. It's,
Did you get executed by jungle?
Bro, I wasn't playing jungle, bro. I was playing top lane
Yeah, I
bosses.
didn't play
I was
jungle.
like, oh, this is probably the same game.
Jungle
My Q was
messes you
like
up.
8-second CD. It was like so different, but
I'm
it
sure
seems fun.
if people play jungle, the new ones might get executed. with
Yeah,
jungle.
for sure.
It was hard to do it before.
Yeah, so for our contact idea, Gakos was playing jungle, and he's like,
Okay.
please leash me, please leash me.
Because your team is so young. You probably never even played, like, your first game of League, even though you're like 7, would have been, what, season 5?
I mean, I first played in season 5.
Yeah.
So you didn't even see
So
that.
you,
I'm
didn't
not
see
thinking
the,
that game.
you don't even know the OG leashing.
I mean,
no?
I remember like playing like bot games in season 4.
You know
maybe,
what I'm
but,
talking about.
Oh, I know the OG jungle.
You know
I
the
can't
OG
remember.
leashing? You know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
When
Everyone's
when
leashing?
people would spawn on blue or red buff, and you would have your mid laner auto at first so that it would go around. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's why they called it a leash, because it wouldn't hit the closest target.
Exactly.
Oh.
'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
the camp used to be so strong it would just kill the jungler. So the
So
mid
the-
would
you'd
have to
you'd
come
have
and
to hide
auto
out?
it, and it would come around, and then there was
Holy,
no
that's
like
so-
resetting back
That's
then
so
or something
interesting.
like that.
Yeah.
Or it was a lot harder to reset. I forget what
actually-
it was specifically.
I'm so old that I feel like the season 3 jungle is too old of a jungle. I like the season 1 and 2 jungle.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
that's too much.
like-
Dude,
That's
the
too much.
camps in Classic respawn in 75 seconds. Like, you can't even
Oh,
be done your
midnight?
first clear and the camps are up
Oh,
alive
they're
again.
respawning, yeah.
And they're like the most worthless camps ever. You get like 9 gold for a chicken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so
Oh,
pathetic, man.
They're not even
Oh.
chicken, they're rates.
It's the
Yeah, they're
old.
raids.
It's the old. I call them the frog and wraiths.
Yeah, it's just for your mid laner to press
the extra
QW
Karthus
on it.
money. Yeah, exactly.
You guys both played like during that era, or
No,
Nah.
I was not even pro back then because I was
Oh.
14. when
Classic,
that
Classic was also before my time too.
Oh,
like-
really?
You
So
probably
you-
played solo queue and stuff back then, though.
No, my first season playing solo queue at a high level was I think 3.
That's crazy.
Like my
Jeez.
first release for League was Shyvana
Okay.
when I played. And like the first skins in the shop I remember were the like Haunting Nocturne, the Nidalee
Yeah.
skin.
Mhm.
So like I wasn't there for Classic or like even like ELO League. you know.
Yeah,
I was still like silver to diamond or whatever back when I first started.
man.
Yeah, I was bronze 4.
Yeah.
I saw
Back-
the silver 5.
Back when it was just a number, there was something charming about like, oh, 2,200 and
Yeah, the ELO was cool.
36 ELO.
Hmm.
You know, was fun. So that confirms that I'm old, for sure.
Yeah.
That like you weren't even playing, you didn't even experience
Unfortunately-
But do you guys know how old
Unfortunately,
Jatt is? Jatt looks so young for his age.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, give me a
You-
guess. Do you know?
Well, didn't he like 38?
That's close.
36?
9.
39?
39?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Crazy.
40 next year, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have you ever had like a midlife crisis type of thing? Or midlife crisis? Or,
You will
like-
have it soon, don't worry.
Oh.
You will reach it soon.
I probably when I left Team Liquid was the most depressed I've been. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like a midlife crisis?
I was
type of thing?
tough. I didn't have a job for like 6 months,
Oh,
Yeah.
Dang.
and it was the first thing that I like really failed at. Right? Because I just like I thought it was gonna be good, and then things blew up, and I left, and I was like,
Oh,
"Ah,
shit.
damn, that sucks.
That's,
That'll happen to you one day.
yeah.
You'll fail at something. It's been all up until now.
I mean, I kind of felt like some sadness in Korea, but yeah. This one, I'm pretty chilling.
That's not a crisis. That's like a couple weeks. We were bad scrims.
Oh, yeah. How was
Yeah.
that? How was climbing up the ranks in Korea?
I mean, Korea,
Or was it for? I mean, I don't mean to diminish what was a
Yeah.
hard time for you, but how's Korea?
I mean, I honestly enjoyed my time in Brazil a lot more. It just felt like in Korea, like I didn't have like the best experience. I think
Oh,
it's,
so you're not even talking like boot camp. You're talking like when you're on T1.
Yeah, T1, yeah.
Yeah.
like I think I really love the like the org is amazing. Obviously, it's T1 and stuff, but I think I just had a hard time because one, like I couldn't stream, so like I was basically just playing solo queue off stream, which
Oh.
was new to me. Another thing was like I was so far away from family.
Yeah.
And
And-
you were 16?
Yeah, 16.
Damn, that's early.
So like,
yeah.
and also on top of that, like, yeah, I was so far from family, and then I was just grinding like tier 3, and then obviously the hours are Korean hours, so it's like very long, like
Oh yeah.
big hours, not getting paid at all.
That's
or,
really
like,
isolating.
basically for free.
Um,
And then obviously Korea is like a very homogenous country, and I'm very like outgoing. I like talking to people. I'm very extroverted, so it felt very isolating. And then also I'm playing in tier 3, so it didn't even feel like I was competing. Because like you play in tier 1, you play like scrims with the team, you feel like you're improving together, and you're actually like playing like in front of a ton of people, or like people are watching. And tier 3 was mostly like I wasn't even competing honestly for like first 6 months. So overall it was not the greatest period, but Brazil was really fun. And I think even though it wasn't like the greatest experience for me, because I think away from family it was hard. But in general, I think I really like the experience, and I'm really happy where I'm at right now in life. And maybe that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go to Korea. Because honestly, during that time, I was thinking I could probably get on a bottom LCS team, and then who knows, maybe I join a bottom LCS team, my career just ends after I do like pretty bad. So I'm never regretful of the past because I'm really happy of the present. So I'm really happy where I am today. So I can contribute that to like my time in Korea, like maturing and stuff. So,
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, while you're saying that, I did realize like how much, even like specifically the three of you have like sacrificed to be where you are in League of Legends, right? Like,
oh yeah, we both dropped out of high school, right? Because I know you dropped out, so yeah.
That's great. I
funny.
mean, you moved to Korea when you were 16. You dropped out of high school. Then played for Team Liquid at 17. You're also
17
in a foreign country. 17. Did you finish? Did you also drop out of high school?
I finished school.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Good for you, bro. Good for you.
Yeah, but yeah, you've played in CBLOL. You've played LLA. You've played LCS.
In CLS, which is the old LATAM one from the south.
Okay.
Yeah, in Chile.
In Chile.
Yeah.
Do you have any reflections on like what led to this moment, or like did you have a moment like Gryffinn where you're just like really isolated, feeling?
Well, I had a lot of moments even last year. I mean, I was last played in Brazil, and now I'm here. You know, it's like wow, that's crazy. So, you know, I don't know. Life is. I think the biggest reflection is like life just goes up and down, and sometimes you can be up, sometimes you can be down. Yeah. That's just how it goes, you know.
Actually, reflecting on that, because I was actually playing against him last year. I remember I played against him in scrims, like on Loud. I was like, holy, I feel so bad. His team is so bad. So I'm really glad that now he's like actually able to play on a human team. So yeah.
With Quinn and Morgan just like solo killing people.
So I'm glad he's able to get the opportunity to show off his like talents. But last year I felt really bad. I was like, holy, he's elo held.
I was fine. I was also playing bad. You know, when you start playing worse when you have bad results too. So.
Yes.
Yeah. You lose your confidence, and I think that's like a big part of like, especially a jungler. You have to have confidence. Like,
yeah, if the ship is going down, it's hard to be the guy.
If what you do isn't working, it's like, well, I got to change something. But if what you're doing was right, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of the same question for you. What was some of the moments? You don't need to do too many. Just like.
I mean, I've been removed from so many rosters that like any one of those you could pick as a super low. But the thing is in this industry, like Jose's saying, you go up and you go down. So for me, a lot of those first moments where I was getting knocked down, it was kind of just like a tap down.
Sure.
And then some other org would grab me and pull me right back up to LCS. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I never had to make any actually hard changes for me as a human or as a person or perspective or anything like that because another opportunity was there because I was so talented when I was younger.
It kept happening. I remember because I don't know if you've seen it, but I did like a bunch of research and the quotes from basically every team when you rejoined them was always kind of the same thing. Like Team Liquid happened, then no instance like Josh is the jungler that everybody wants, and then you got like Jared Jeffers and Rick Fox being like, I believe in this guy, just like over and over again. So I can see why they'd just be taps. That's really interesting to hear.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think at least in my opinion, I had a great head on my shoulders until the pressure was on. That was the biggest problem is I'm just the type of personality when the pressure's on that I wanted so many things to be fixed so fast. And obviously when you're, at least in my experience, I was, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best players on my rosters when I was younger. So it became really, really frustrating to me why we couldn't perform when I was the young North American player who no one thought would be good or relevant on the roster. You know what I mean? Like that was the
and they have these Korean imports, and you're just like, why are they
exactly?
Not doing
why
their
can't we
job?
perform? Why can't we play? Blah blah. And I'm like, I know I'm getting paid less than my teammates. Like all of these little details go into your mental space, you know, and not being able to like kind of how Gryffinn is leading on to with like in Korea where you don't really have those avenues to reset and recharge mentally when you're so far from your home and your family. So I just kind of mental downward trend perma. And it was just always impacting my teams negatively. And I never had that coach or that veteran guy on my team or like any sort of relationship, albeit I was probably because of how I was acting as well, right? Nobody wants to feed into that kind of energy. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like
I do.
No family, no like way to recharge mentally, just kind of stuck and feeling like trapped, I guess, mentally in a state where you just know that you are competing for like 5 months and your happiness kind of relies on the result. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when you're so far from what makes you happy normally.
I really know what you mean. So I'll age this even deeper. I know I was playing League before you guys, but before League I played a different game. Guild Wars, which is like this 8v8 game. But like everyone who plays that game is super young. And because there's no like franchises or orgs to like sign players, like the amount of times that you switch teams is like basically every month. Like a few people stick around, but like at the top level of competitive gaming, like way back in the day, there was no like these guys have stuck around for 3 years together. Because the instant something goes wrong, you just replace 2 people and you move on. So I can totally see as like an 18-year-old, and this has always fascinated me a little bit about League, how like Flyquest has signed these 5 players. And you guys are working with those 5 players for like the year.
The year, yeah.
And it's not even up to you that you're able to change things, which can be really frustrating if you then have to work things out amongst yourselves. I don't know. That's just a random tangent.
Yeah. At least for like this type of stuff, I guess like since we're talking about like being low and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess every time I felt like really low. Well, like obviously it sucks. Like I felt really low. Even like after you get eliminated, I think that's the one you feel like the lowest. You're like, especially last play when I thought we could win it all. But I guess for me, like what helps me cope at least when we lose is I think it's good to feel negative and feel like, holy, I need to try better so I don't get this like type of feeling again. But I always try to reflect on like how far I've come and like how happy I would be or like how happy I am to like do what I do as a living and like how my younger self would like see me nowadays like and be like super proud of like my younger self would be so proud of me. Like where I've like not accomplished, like I haven't accomplished much, but like just making it to the LCS.
You have accomplished a lot.
Yeah,
I'll say
yeah, just making it to the LCS, I think like is in itself like a big accomplishment. Like I think people take for granted how much of a privilege it is to not only play in the LCS, but like how hard it is to make it like there in the first place. So I always try to like reflect when I am like reflecting after a loss, like letting yourself feel down. I think it's healthy to feel like, you know, I don't want to feel like this again, but also like at the same time recovering and being grateful for like what you can do as a living. So that's always what I try to do at least.
That's awesome. You can't have the highs without some low moments.
The lows, yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't feel good,
yeah,
right? If you didn't have to struggle. Probably the final question I want to ask you, Dardoch, now that you've had 10 years to reflect, now that you're 28, have had the 10 years, you go back in time. You have all the understanding and skills that you have now, but you're placed in the same situation again on that 2016 Team Liquid team that is the most infamous team in your history. Are you able to make it work, or do you feel like the situation was so cursed? I'm sure you've thought about this in your head like so many times.
No, I could make it work for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I played with Piglet. In 2016, that guy was quite literally insane. In game and out. But mechanically speaking, at the time, that guy was
really good
him.
player.
That guy was him.
So would you play more around bot than
we played around bot. We lived for bot. We lived for bot on that team. Like we were Lulu top, Morgana mid, Janna support, and a tank jungle with Sightstone. Like we lived for Piglet. Don't get me wrong. And we all idolized him on that roster. All the young kids were. He's our world champ. You know what I mean? There's nothing else he can do.
And it was like 3 years ago at that point too.
And it was the dominant worlds. Like he was a part of that roster of T1 that was like farming them at mid turret and just walking down mid and keep farming them. It was like the most one-sided worlds tournament ever. So obviously we idolized Piglet. We tried to work with him, but my shortcomings came mostly just because of selfishness at the end of the day. And we're playing a team game.
So what would you change? Like how would you have made it work?
Just how I interact with people outside of games. I think we just had obviously Breaking Point says it the most, where it's not necessarily what's going on in the game, but mostly how we're handling discussions outside of the game. And like, I think lingering feelings are a big thing for every team, where if you don't end discussions, especially heated ones, the right way, those negative feelings have a very high chance of staying within the team, even into the next days and into the next scrims, right? So that would be the main takeaway for TL is I think we ended so many discussions with everyone being upset and not actually getting a conclusion. And you just come the next day for scrims. Hope everybody does well, but
hope we win.
It's not exactly.
Hope we get some dopamine.
That was pretty much Breaking Point is we ended our split with such a bad taste in our mouth off of the double TP. Because we had felt
TP, man.
We had felt so strongly as a group.
You guys remember the double TP play? Did you ever see this?
No, I've never seen this.
We were the one they TP on Piglet?
You remember the CLG that won MSI or went to finals at MSI?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
I'm not that like
that CLG roster was essentially like no one saw them going to MSI coming that split.
Yeah, because Double had left for TSM, so they had Sticks A.
Oh, okay.
And we lost to them in game 5 at like it was like 50+ minutes with Piglet Caitlyn, and he died on mid because it was at the time where you could TP on the same minion.
Oh, I feel like I do
and he didn't notice that there was a second TP, so he like put a trap down and started hitting the first guy, and then a second guy appeared and killed him, and we lost the game.
I remember a clip like this,
But we were in a winning position in game 5. We probably should have went to finals. Who knows if we would have won? You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean.
That's crazy.
We left that
season.
Like
the butterfly effect of like.
Oh yeah, we left that season with such a negative feeling, and then immediately went into essentially not talking to each other from the moment the split ended to that Korean boot camp that was famously in Breaking Point. And when we showed up for the boot camp, our mentalities were in a million different places, right?
Yeah.
Piglet was completely out of it mentally. Like he wasn't in a headspace to like super grind, but all the young kids were like, let's go Korea, you know, it was our first time. And that just blew us up.
So it's crazy that you say that. It gives me some flashbacks. And I know I was competing for less time, but when I was coaching TL, we were in finals in 2021 spring, and we were up 2-1 in the finals. We lost the series.
Yeah.
But game 5, C9 lane swapped on us. They picked Sion, Trist. We should have seen it coming, honestly. But like that playoffs, no one had been swapping. But normally when you pick Sion, it's like a swap back in the day.
Yeah.
We didn't notice it. They lane swap on us. We lose. I thought we were good. We weren't. Like it brewed for like the month that we were off. And then when we came back, there was just a lot of issues that we couldn't deal with. Yeah. But that's great. Like just the way you said that just brought it straight back for me.
Yeah, no, there are silent killers in the team environment. Yeah. That's why I think good coaches are, I mean, they're far and few in between who actually
you need to be able to pick up on
hold the reins of an entire team environment and like shoulder that burden.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for coaches after
Okay. Let's talk about next week's matchups. After going like 10 years and 5 years back, Team Liquid versus DSG. I'm expecting you guys to be big favorites.
I hope.
Don't take it too lightly. Don't take it too lightly. That's a trap game. I need to pull up the other matchups real quick.
I know we're playing C9.
C9, no?
Reverse Shopify.
And you're versus Shopify. C9, that's a big matchup for you guys against C9. We skipped C9. How do you feel like they've been playing? They've been a little shaky. They were 2-1 against DSG, 2-1 against Dig.
Pretty sure.
Not sure. I feel like
that's a big game for you guys.
I think it's a big series, kind of like because it's also probably going to be big for like playoff standings and stuff. So obviously, I think it'll help us a lot if we win. And I'm feeling pretty confident. I don't think obviously they have changed in their mid AD, but they don't feel particularly stronger nor weaker. I'd say maybe their laning is stronger, but their macro is a lot weaker. Like I'd say, so their level or like strength doesn't seem that different. Maybe at least right now. Maybe they keep improving or whatever. But last time we scrimmed them like a week ago or something. But yeah, I think if we play our game, we play well, we'll win. I'm feeling still pretty confident for that, and I hope we do win. Yeah.
Predictions on his series, Flyquest C9?
I think it'll be a banger.
Okay, who wins?
I wouldn't say it's favored. Well, I would say C9 is probably favored on paper, but I could see them losing. Like C9, in my opinion, hasn't looked super solid this season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose?
Similar thought. I think it's 2-1, but I don't know who wins. Maybe Flyquest. I think today it was like rough early games, but I think they're good. Yeah.
And then Shopify versus Dig. We call this the ultimate grudge match poll.
This is a banger.
Because the Palafox on Shopify last year into Dig, and they've traded 1-1 in series so far this year.
Okay.
So it's always pretty fun. He's like the only person they replaced with Zinni, so I'm sure he's like a little salty about it. So it's an important game to win.
Yeah, I see.
You'll want to win. Who do you guys think is going to win that series? Shopify.
You go first. You go first.
I don't know. I think Shopify is playing quite well. Actually surprised.
Yeah, they beat
improved.
Sentinels this week.
They improved. But I don't know. Dig also seems good on scrims. So I will give it to Dig 2-1. I want to see a lot of kills.
Wow.
Is that because Dardoch's?
Yeah, that one too. But unrelated, I think it's funny to watch Dig Shopify. Because I think there is a lot of kills involved. Because the way they play, they clash a lot.
Oh,
so
nice.
Hopefully a lot of kills.
Oh, there will be.
I don't know. Not sure. I'll go for Shopify.
Okay.
But I think both teams can definitely win. I think both can win.
Yeah, and then final matchup, Lyon versus Sentinels, especially if Inspired's back. I mean, maybe he could come back and be super rusty and they could be a loss, but if it's full rosters, full strength, it's got to be Lyon.
Yeah.
It should be Lyon.
Yeah.
I think if Inspired's back, it's going to be Lyon pretty easily.
I think regardless of their jungle, I think Lyon would win that matchup.
Yeah.
That's true.
Grig the GOAT. I didn't talk about mages because no one played mages this week, but what's going on with that? My theory was that Riot said they were going to nerf mages, so everyone just stopped practicing. Did they just stop working in scrims, and that's why you guys have stopped playing mages?
I don't know. The meta has been all over the place. Yeah,
I think people finally started accepting that you don't really want your marksman player on the chance your mid would maybe pilot in Fearless.
That might be it.
Format. So I think it's all fun and games for the BO3s. You know, throw a little lock in the bot lane, throw a little silence in the bot lane. But when you're going to game 4 and 5 or into BO5s, I think there's less chance the bot laners will pilot those champs.
Do you think it's like a skill gap thing? People just realize the AD carries aren't that good at mages?
To a certain extent, yeah. I think it's comfortability and also skill is far less than the mids. And then also like some of these champions, the mids just have infinite more time on, like Akali and Sylas, for example. Like there's no way that an AD player is going to pilot those better than some of the mids in our region, but maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
then
think
LCK stopped playing them, so it's like everyone just copies LCK. So
Yeah.
I think the same, but when I see Yon on Syndra, I'm like, Yon, just play Ezreal, Kalista, you know, do your thing, just deal damage.
What's
When
his
he-
best mage?
Best mage?
Ziggs?
I
He's
think
an okay
every AD
Ziggs.
is good on 6
Yeah.
because it's like the standard. But after you see them on many mages, it's like, you know, it's like Quid is like, you know, just give it to Quid, you know,
Yeah.
give the Akali to Quid, the Sylas to Quid.
Makes sense.
It's fine.
Okay. I appreciate you guys joining us on Pros. Gryffinn, Dardoch, great to see you back. Jose, always good to see you. That's it for this episode of Pros. It's going to be on the LCS YouTube channel. It's also going to be on Spotify. Check it out. You can just search Pros on Spotify. We're going to be back next week, same time, Saturday, for next week's games, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. See you there.